It begins, as so many modern stories do, with a search for connection. A scroll, a click, a live notification. But behind the curated smiles and performative challenges lies a darker algorithm, one where the pursuit of virality can intersect with fatal physical reality. These are not just accidents. These are social media deaths, where the platform itself became the stage for a final, agonizing act. We document 7 cases where the quest for the perfect post led to the most painful ends.
Case 1. The Fall from Grace. In October 2017, in downtown Toronto, the city's gleaming skyline is a constant invitation. Pedro Ruiz, a 23-year-old with a keen eye for photography and a growing Instagram following dedicated to urban exploration, sees more than buildings. He sees angles, peaks, and the ultimate shot. He is experienced, known in the local rooftoping community for his nerve and his compositions. The afternoon is clear, the light is perfect. Pedro and a friend access the roof of a 45-story apartment building. His goal is a dynamic legs dangling over the edge selfie, a signature pose. He positions himself carefully, his back to the sheer drop. He raises his phone. As he adjusts his posture for the shot, leaning back slightly for a better frame, his balance shifts. The movement is minute. Witnesses on a nearby balcony see a blur of motion, a figure pivoting from a seated pose to a silent, spread-eagled descent against the glass and steel. There is no scream, just the distant, horrific sound of impact from the alley below. The investigation concludes a tragic loss of balance. His phone, recovered, holds the unposted, fatal image, a serene self-portrait with a fatal miscalculation forever captured in the lens.
Case 2. The Train of Thought. A rural crossing in Murcia, Spain, February 2020. The tracks are a known hazard, but for Alba, an 18-year-old dance student with a vibrant TikTok profile, they are also a dramatic backdrop. Her feed is full of choreographed routines, her talent obvious. On this day, she seeks a new level of authenticity and thrill. She intends to film a dance video on the tracks, timing her performance between train schedules. She sets her phone on a tripod on the opposite embankment. With headphones in, lost in her music, she begins her routine. Her focus is absolute, her movements fluid. What she does not account for is the silent, high-speed Ave train approaching from an unexpected direction, its noise masked by her music. The train driver sees her too late, a flash of color and motion where only stillness should be. He slams on the horn and the emergency brake, a scream of metal that she never hears. The video, recovered by investigators, shows a graceful sequence abruptly ending in a terrifying blur of speed and a final shuddering frame. The aftermath reveals a devastating misjudgment of speed, distance, and the lethal silence of modern rail.
Case 3. The Loaded Prop. A suburban home in Moncure, North Carolina, August 2021. Pedro Pete Manchin, a 28-year-old father and aspiring comedian, is building a presence on Instagram and TikTok with skits and relatable humor. He owns a firearm, which he occasionally incorporates as a dramatic, unloaded prop. That evening, while filming a short impromptu sketch for his followers, he decides to use his 9mm pistol to punctuate a joke. The atmosphere is casual. He does not clear the weapon. He believes, incorrectly, that the chamber is empty. As he gestures with the gun for the camera, his finger rests on the trigger. The script calls for a mimed shot. He pulls the trigger. A deafening crack fills the room. The bullet strikes him in the upper body. His girlfriend, filming, drops the phone. The camera continues to record, capturing not comedy, but chaos. Her screams, the frantic calls to 911, the helpless moments before paramedics arrive. He is pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation finds a single negligent discharge. The video, a private draft meant for laughter, becomes a horrific public record of a split-second fatal assumption.
Case 4. The Fatal Dare. An apartment in San Francisco, December 2017. The Tide Pod Challenge is peaking, a bizarre and dangerous internet dare urging people, primarily teenagers, to film themselves biting into single-use laundry detergent packets. 18-year-old Isaiah is with friends, the mood a mix of peer pressure and reckless bravado. He is a bright student, a high school athlete. To impress his friends and perhaps gain a moment of online notoriety, he agrees to the stunt. He films himself on a friend's phone, puts the brightly colored pod in his mouth, and bites down. Almost immediately, his expression shifts from a smile to shock. The concentrated surfactants and chemicals cause rapid, violent burning in his mouth and throat. He begins to choke and gasp, his airways seizing. His friends, panicking, call 911. Paramedics find him in respiratory distress, his mouth and lips showing chemical burns. He is rushed to the hospital but suffers cardiac arrest en route. He dies from profound chemical poisoning and asphyxiation. The aftermath sees a massive public health campaign, but for Isaiah's family, it is the story of a healthy boy killed by a trend that transformed a household cleaner into a digital daredevil's final challenge. Case 5. The Electrified Pose. A busy street in Buenos Aires, Argentina, January 2022. Sophia, a 21-year-old model and influencer with over 50,000 Instagram followers, is on a professional shoot. The location is artistic, gritty, featuring industrial backgrounds. Her photographer spots a transformer substation down a side alley. Its geometric shapes and warning signs create a striking urban contrast. Seeking a unique, edgy shot, Sophia climbs over a low safety barrier to get closer to the equipment. She is not an engineer, she is a visual artist chasing aesthetic. As she leans against a metal structure, striking a pose, her proximity to high-voltage equipment creates an arc flash. There is no direct contact needed. With a blinding blue-white flash and a sound like a monstrous firecracker, thousands of volts of electricity arc through the air to her body. Witnesses are temporarily blinded. She is thrown backward, her clothes smoldering. The shoot descends into horror. She is pronounced dead at the scene from catastrophic electrocution. The investigation highlights the invisible danger she never understood. Extreme high voltage can jump gaps, turning a photo shoot into a lightning strike.
Case 6. The Last Breath Hold. The clear, inviting waters of a private pool in Greensboro, North Carolina, February 2022. Kyrie Johnson, a 16-year-old with a passion for swimming and a budding TikTok following, is attempting the Blackout Challenge. This chilling trend dares participants to hold their breath until they lose consciousness. He films himself, alone, submerging. His phone, propped at the pool's edge, records the entire tragic sequence. He is underwater for minutes. His body's natural survival instinct, the urge to breathe, is overridden by his conscious will to complete the challenge. He holds his breath until hypoxia, a lack of oxygen to the brain, forces a shutdown. He loses consciousness silently. The video shows his initially controlled form going limp. Autonomic functions take over, and in his unconscious state, his lungs instinctively inhale. The pool water floods his airways. The camera records only the stillness of the water's surface. His family finds him later. The footage, viewed by medical examiners, provides a clinical and heartbreaking timeline of a conscious decision leading to an autonomic, fatal inhalation. His death is ruled an accident due to dangerous online activity. Case 7. The Cliffhanger. The scenic but treacherous cliffs of Encinal Canyon, Malibu, January 2019. The location is popular for its breathtaking Pacific views. Tom, a 32-year-old rock climbing enthusiast and YouTuber, is here to film an exciting vlog. His channel blends adventure and inspiration. He scouts a rocky outcrop that juts dramatically over the ocean, hundreds of feet below.
To capture a king-of-the-world-style panoramic shot, he needs his hands free. He decides to balance his smartphone on a narrow rock ledge, sets it to record, and steps back to the very edge of the precipice. The wind, a constant factor he underestimates, gusts. It catches his balance. He takes a half step backward to steady himself. His heel finds only air. Witnesses filming from a distance see his arms windmill silently before he disappears from view, falling onto rocks below. His phone, still recording, captures only the empty sky and the relentless sound of the wind and waves after his sudden exit from the frame. The search and recovery operation is complex and grim. The investigation notes the compounded risk, an unsecured filming setup, and a lethal focus on the lens instead of the ledge.
These 7 digital gallows stand as grim monuments to a new kind of mortality, one dictated by likes, challenges, and the relentless pressure of the perpetual feed. They represent a painful fusion of ancient human impulses, showmanship, bravery, belonging, with a platform that amplifies risk to fatal frequencies. The tragedy is not in the technology itself, but in the uncharted canyons of judgment it can obscure, where the line between content and catastrophe is thinner than a phone screen. We are left to wonder how many more silent digital prompts are waiting in our pockets, and what it truly costs to perform for an algorithm that has no capacity for mercy, only engagement. If this forensic journey to the edges of documented human experience has compelled your curiosity about the realities beneath everyday surfaces, subscribe for more meticulously researched expeditions into the anatomy of catastrophe. Your engagement drives our research into darker corners of documented reality. Suggest our next investigation in the comments and hit the notification bell to ensure you never miss when we map another frontier of human suffering and survival.